As we were talking about earlier, Wisconsin and Iowa this weekend, big showdown in the West. Joe Schobert leads the Badgers in sacks. He's second in the Big Ten. He joins us now from our studio in Madison. And Joe, before we break down the game this weekend, your defense has been phenomenal. I mean, 3 points allowed total in the last 3 games. What has stood out to you about how your D has performed?
I think just every week improving, especially after the first week, the loss to Alabama. There's things we needed to correct and improve upon, and I think every week since then we've taken a step forward, and now we're ready for Big Ten play, and we have to keep continuing to take step forwards this season.
New coaching staff, obviously, in Madison, but Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator, stayed, a holdover from the previous staff, and of course you guys have had great defenses under him. What did it mean to you?
Prepare for games, how we play games, and it's just big to have him back for another year.
Aranda calls you Sinatra. What can you tell us about the origins of that nickname?
I think he's the only person who calls me Sinatra. He says it's because I look smooth out on the football field. It just comes naturally, I guess. But yeah, I think he's the only guy. I know who Frank Sinatra is, but other than that, I don't really know too much about the origins of the nickname.
Well, it's a compliment. We can say that.
Yeah.
You were all-state in football in high school. You made it to the state track meet. You were a fantastic basketball player. And yet, towards the end of your senior year, still no FBS offers. You ultimately ended up coming to Wisconsin as a walk-on, have since gotten a scholarship. Do you feel like you've had something to prove?
Oh, definitely. Not being offered out of high school is a big chip on your shoulder. It's something that you can use to work hard, especially that last summer coming into college. I think that's when I started lifting weights more for football instead of playing all these other sports. And it's something that drove me. And looking at guys like Luke Swan, Jim Leonard, J.J. Watt in the past, setting an example for walk-ons here at Wisconsin was another thing that I knew if I followed the coach's instructions, I worked hard, is something that would be within reach.
An incredible walk-on tradition, and you are continuing that. Let's get into this game this weekend against Iowa. They have played very well, kind of a different offense than we've seen in past years, given the mobility of C.J. Beathard. What challenge does he provide for this team?
He's just been great so far this season. Because he wears number 16 sometimes on tape, it reminds me a little bit of Russell, the things he does. He's not the biggest guy, he's not the fastest, but he's more mobile than people give him credit for. He can make things happen in the pocket and on scrambles. And so far this year, they've been a very efficient offense, both running and passing the ball, so we have to try to limit that. The run game first on first and second downs, and then get him into third and long situations where we can try to pressure him and make him make some hurried decisions and hopefully make some mistakes.
How important is this rivalry to you as a Wisconsin native?
Oh, it's big. Obviously, they have a trophy for this game because it means something. Every game that's been played is on that trophy, and you want to bring it back to Madison for another year. You want to have the 2015 name etched Wisconsin with the score on that trophy. So it's the first trophy game of the year, so it's going to be an important one to bring home for us.
Joe, before we let you go, you made some waves on social media earlier this summer with a very impressive dunk that you threw down. I want you to walk us through that moment. It basically brought down the house with your teammates.
Yeah. We were having a kind of a basketball tournament for our strength and conditioning staff, kind of divided us into teams. And while they were putting our teams into like the tournament bracket format, we kind of were off to the side and everybody started dunking one at a time. And seeing if I could still do some of the things I did in high school, and luckily for me, I still could, and somebody was filming it, I guess, so that's what happened.
Have you heard from Bo Ryan subsequent to that dunk?
No, I haven't, but I don't think I do them very good. I can't shoot or dribble too much anymore, so all I can do is jump.
You're a one-trick pony. Joe Schobert,
Yeah.
Continue the great work on the football field. Best of luck this weekend, and thanks for taking a few minutes to speak with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.